Smile, you're on camera.
Okay.
That's lots of doorbells. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Good to see so many familiar faces and some names that we don't recognize as well. And so we'll just give it another minute. Considering the title of Muddle, it feels pretty calm in this call.
Sorry?
Considering the title of Muddle, it feels pretty calm on this call.
Yeah, I so far.
It's a pleasure, John. So, welcome everyone. And we're here to uncover the great theatre production of the Mentor Coaching Muddle. And Matthew was the person I asked for this because we're chatting a lot about ICF and changes and all the things that are going on. He is the absolute person that I needed to get to be the producer and also the director of this show tonight. Great to see many of you here from all over the world. And if we just start with a little hello from the people on our team, and then I'm introducing Matthew, and he will literally take it away. So come off mic, and if you're one of our team, say a quick hello, please. Simon.
Hello. You don't often see me. I'm often behind the CoachME BMC cameras, but making an appearance today. So hello, everybody.
Welcome.
And hello, great to be here from Dover, New Hampshire. Welcome, everyone.
Hello
Thank
from
you.
Italy.
Hi from sunny Switzerland.
Yay.
Hello from
Hello
Manchester.
Hello from Vancouver, Canada.
Hello from Egypt.
Madison, Wisconsin.
And we've got Gillian and Paul as well, who work on our supervision program.
Hello from Los Angeles.
Gillian is just over the hill in Switzerland from John.
Do you ski? Wonderful. So Matthew, I met as a student on our level 3 program. He was MCC already. I think Matthew's actually done or is doing 3 level 3 programs: consummate professional, mentor coach, coach educator, and someone who is always in the know for the inside out and the upside down of all the data and is a great go-to for such things. And so without further ado, Matthew, take it away.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here with all of you to go over a lot of what's been going on with mentor coaching and credentialings. And goodness, a lot happened, it seems like overnight. So I hope to be able to simplify and synthesize the stuff in hopefully a more engaging way. So let's get into it. One thing I do want to start off with is, first off, we're happy to see you. But also a little bit of Claire was briefly mentioning it, a little bit, why us? Why the two of us? Well, I have beyond just coaching, I have I think it's a blessing and a curse to understand policies and procedures very quickly. And it's nice. It's a little frustrating, like, oh, I get this really quickly. People are going to ask me questions, but that's okay. And then Claire actually has been a volunteer advisor for the ICF on the mentor coaching and supervision standards. And so we've got somebody who's been working behind the scenes. We've got somebody who can understand all of this deciphering. And so put us together, and welcome to the musical. So let's talk about what exactly is going on. So there have been, I'd say, I'm going to simplify this into about 5 things that have recently happened. And then we'll get into a few of them with many more details. Some of them have more nuances than others. So let's start with our very first one, which is the new mentor coach qualification. And in case anyone's wondering, I had no influence that is also my initials. But I am enjoying that coincidence. So you can call me the original MCQ, but in case you'd like to. So what's this all about? Well, it's a new designation that's going to be required if you want to mentor coach. And if you want to hire a mentor coach, you need to make sure that this person, whoever you're going to hire, has the MCQ. We'll talk more about this one. It's probably one of the more bigger announcements, and how you can start, if you are an active mentor coach, what you can start doing now to get yourself ready to go. So that's now out there. By the way, this is technically not a credential. I might slip and call it a credential, just that's the word that I'm used to. Just know the official term is a qualification, but it's still going to be something you're going to get through Credly, so it's going to be something nice. The next one, which is quite big, is the removal of the final performance evaluation. So that final recording you have to turn in to graduate from a level 1 or 2 program to get your ACC and PCC, that is going away. MCC, we're going to put a pin in that, and we'll come back to you in a little bit later in the show. So starting April 1st, your coaching competence is not determined by one final recording. That is going away. And a program is not allowed to just keep it in there like, oh, we love this process. We're all in this together. We are all saying goodbye to that in about a year, a little under a year from now, almost 11 months to go. The third thing is mentor coaching is getting a facelift or a makeover, whatever you want to call it, or enhanced mentor coaching. So we'll talk about this as well. The fast version for right now is that your coaching skills in a program or with a mentor coach are now going to be reviewed on a cumulative basis. Not so much did you demonstrate, quote unquote, all the right things in one recording. It's how are you growing and demonstrating your uniqueness, your flair, and the competencies across multiple recordings. So we'll talk about that as well. But mentor coaching is definitely going to be a bit more energy and a bit more. You're really going to get into a mentor coaching now. There's not that there ever was, but there's no such thing as passive mentor coaching. It is alive and active. So you better get ready. Next, we have a coaching supervision qualification. So finally, there is now something that ICF provides for supervisors. Because supervision isn't really required for any of the ACC, PCC, MCC, this is actually mainly going to affect anybody who's going for the team coaching credential, because that person will need to have the CSQ. And if you are planning to use coaching supervision toward a credential renewal, you need to work with a supervisor who has the ICF version of the CSQ. I know many of people here, because the EMCC has their credential, there's a little ambiguity of how that's going to transfer over and to what extent. So that's one of those areas we don't know quite yet. It's fairly ambiguous on the website, so we'll have to wait and find out. But ICF does have their own thing, and that's the one you're going to want to get if you want to do supervision in the realm of ICF. And lastly, the fifth one is new program accreditation. So we are adding more to the ICF alphabet soup. ACE, TSTH, AC, those are all gone. We've got level 1, level 2, level 3. Well, guess what? Now we have 2 new ones that are on the way. AAMC and AACS, so Advanced Accreditation in Mentor Coaching and likewise in Coaching Supervision. So more on that will be coming out, but essentially the general idea is that, if you do a level 1 or 2 program, you do all the requirements, do your homework, you pass, you got a nice certificate, you go to ICF, and it's a really simple admin process to get your ACC and PCC. That's the general gist of what these are aiming to be like. You do one program like an all-inclusive hotel. You stay there, everything's taken care of. You walk away with your certificate, and then off you go to get your MCQ or the CSQ. So those are the 5 changes. I'm sure some of you have heard them. Some of you, this might be brand new. Congratulations, welcome. They all, again, as I mentioned, there's different level of nuance, and so we're not going to focus too much on all of these today. There will be a sequel, and so we'll come to that. We'll get to that point when it's time. And I have the chat open, by the way. So does that mean no more credential exam? Great question. So the exam, the ICF exam with the 78 scenarios, that is still going to be the case. And the ACC exam with multiple choice questions, yeah, that's not going away. So you just no longer have to, before you got to that process, the big thing was passing your recordings. Now it's the new enhanced mentor coaching. So I know many of us would like that exam to go away. It's not happening. Will the cost of doing the exam be less? We don't know for sure. And I'll talk about the context in a coming up. But yeah, and by the way, keep putting your questions. This is very helpful. Okay, okay. Several questions. I will answer those another time. We'll get to those coming up. I think I might answer several of them coming up. We're going to answer all of these questions coming up, so let's keep going. Before that, why is this all happening? So there actually is some rationale and some research on like what's going on. So part of it is that there's been some research on people that 60% of people who are surveyed believe that mentor coaches should have education and training because it is a whole different skill set. Right now, it's did you have a credential for if you had your ACC for 3 years? Or, I mean, the instant I got my PCC, I am a PCC mentor coach. Should I have been? That's debatable, but it was totally allowed, and that's what I did. So there's sometimes that works out well, and sometimes it doesn't work well. So now we're trying to standardize everything and make sure that if you are hiring a mentor coach, you're getting there's much more quality assurance that the person you're working with has done training, is qualified, and has really the right skills. Because being a really effective coach does not mean you can be a really effective mentor coach. You can be, but it does require different nuances that you don't necessarily, quote unquote, need in coaching. Also, there's a bigger emphasis on learning and growth. Now, the emoji, this is what someone might look like when they're trying to figure out which recording am I going to submit. So we're taking off that pressure. How are you growing and developing over a period of sessions? So ICF has recognized that a one-time demonstration, a one recording, doesn't necessarily reflect the complexity of how you've learned and how you've grown. The level 2 standard is 125 hours. Imagine you've done all of your homework, all of your assignments, you've learned, you've grown, you've done all of this hard work. But for some reason, the final recording it gets stuck. It totally happens. So we're moving away from that so that way all of your learning and progress can be acknowledged. And finally, ethical practice, because there are some people that have been not playing by the rules. There have been instances of people taking other people's recordings and submitting them. So imagine if I took Dr. Clare's recordings and like, these are my MCC recordings. I mean, besides the fact that my name is Matthew and you can make some assumptions, they wouldn't really know. Who is this? We don't actually know. Of course, with the rise of AI, people have been doing all sorts of things with AI. And so it's definitely becoming a final recording is a less of an accurate demonstration of how great are your coaching skills and how are you growing. Plus, going back, this has been different mentor coaching approaches. So you might go to one and get, I don't know, like a 1-star hotel versus a 5-star hotel. It's still mentor coaching, but how can you make sure there's a bit more cohesiveness and making sure everyone's getting some good level of quality? Let me look at some of the questions. We will have to transcribe multiple recordings. So that's technically always been a thing. I mean, you are supposed to bring a recording or have some live demo per mentor coaching session. So that's definitely going to be shouldn't be too out of the ordinary. Will there be a requisite number of mentor hours of mentor coaching taken? Can you mix? Yeah, you can mix and match, and we'll talk about some of the requisite numbers. In terms of costs, I really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to find out once this really kicks off. But costs will be changing probably. To what extent? We're not sure yet. All right. Let's get into the mentor coaching qualifications. Some good things to know about it. Now, no matter what, in my view, we can really simplify this into there are 3 things you have to do, 3 boxes to check. You want to check them well, but there's 3 boxes to check. This is my own framing of it. ICF hasn't necessarily framed it this way, but it is accurate. So there's 3 requirements. Number 1, you need training, or as ICF really likes to emphasize, education and mentor coaching. We'll talk about that. Number 2 is doing the respective assessment or evaluation training for the credential you want to mentor toward. So it is no longer, you have to, if you want to mentor at each individual level, you have to get trained in the assessment system. So that's on the ICF website. And the third one is evidence of having mentor coached people before. Now, there's a bit of an exception for this one, so don't panic just yet. But that is a third requirement. So when it comes time to apply for the MCQ, which, by the way, the application is expected to open in July, so there's definitely time, and we'll talk about how you can optimize the next few weeks and months. But when the time comes to apply for the MCQ, you're going to have 2 options. Option 1 is the standard pathway. Talk about that. And option 2 is the prior learning pathway. I think its full name is the credit for prior learning, but I can shave off 2 words. We know what I'm talking about. Prior learning pathway. So here's how they differ. So if you are the standard pathway, this would be for somebody who doesn't really mentor coach right now. Maybe they haven't in a few years. They're just not actively doing it, and they want to. You're brand new to it. Totally fine. So you'll have to complete 41 hours of mentor coach online training, and at least half of that must be delivered synchronously. So you cannot go buy a 40-hour course and just do it on the weekend. You do have to do a course that's going to be that's engaging with active live attendance, like we are here today. You do have to complete the ACC minimum, the trainings, but those hours do count for your 41 in the standard pathway. And then the requirement for mentees is not required because this is the standard pathway. You're brand new. So this is what you can focus on if you don't have active mentor coaching clients. The pathway is there for you, and you don't have to worry too much about making sure you've had 5 people that you have mentored. So that's the standard pathway. But I'm sure there's several of us here who've already been mentor coaching, and we don't really want to start from 0. Anil, not quite, because only those courses are all self-study or synchronous. So there'd still be at least 20 hours you have to do live, or 21. Yeah. All right. So if you are experienced already, there are slightly different requirements for you. You have to do at least 10 hours of mentor coach training, and there's no minimum. It can be done all live. It can be done synchronously. And for those of you who've done something already, we'll get to that. You do have to complete, again, the respective evaluation training, but that does not count toward your 10 hours. So there's no double dipping there. And then there are some nuances. You do have to verify that you have done mentor coaching already with at least 5 clients in the past 3 years. And 3 years is very strict. I've confirmed that with the ICF. If it's 3 years and 1 day, no. It's got to be 3 years. So if you mentor coach privately, like for someone for the portfolio path or someone's renewal, you're going to have to, when you apply for the MCQ, give the name of at least 5 people who went on to earn their credential. So they do have to have earned their credential and within the past 3 years. However, if you are a mentor coach within a coach training program, level 1, level 2, level 3, you just need a letter from your director of education. There's even a template ICF gives you, and that says, hi, this person has mentored 5 people and during this period. The end. Love, director of education. And it doesn't matter if those students got their credential. It doesn't matter if they dropped out. It doesn't matter if you met with them once and it doesn't matter. So if you mentor in a program, you definitely have a more facilitated process to verify that. I'll do a quick pause. Any questions or comments? Feel free to use the Zoom hand. That'll help me. And I love the chat, so keep it going. I'm not intentionally ignoring some questions because I know I'm gonna answer them coming up. And if I don't, then you can correct me. Credential earned. Do credential renewals count as well? I think so. I think so. Claire, do you know?
I believe they do. And these types of things, because we obviously don't want to give the wrong information, we're going to send out an FAQ after this session with all the things from the chat to make it super clear, because we can email and get the absolute exact answer.
And we will definitely talk about where do we stand with BMC programs. Don't you worry, we got that covered. All right, let's keep going. So it's mentor coaching qualification or mentor coach qualification, and there is one per credential. So right now, for example, I have the MCC. So just by having that allows me to mentor MCC and below. That's no longer going to be the case. I still have to have that credential, but I'm going to need a separate MCQ per credential I want to mentor for. And based on ICF communication, it sounds like it's going to be something like MCQ-ACC, MCQ-PCC. So you're going to have at least 6 new letters if you'd like to put them somewhere on your website or your card. With that, so you will have to apply separately 3 times, but you do not have to pay all 3 times. So right now we'll talk about prices very shortly. You'll apply for 1 credential, and my understanding is you'll get some kind of a code, like a gift card basically, and then you can apply for the other credentials that you would like. So you're going to pay once, but you can have 3 of the MCQ for the price of 1. And that's not it, though, because this is now a qualification that you do need to renew every 3 years. The requirement is you do 10 hours of continuing mentor coaching education. More of that will certainly be coming out in the world. It can also include 10 hours of supervision on your mentor coaching, because mentor coaches, we need supervision. A lot goes on. We really need it. And if you don't have it, you should look into it. Some of the financial aspects. So if you apply for the MCQ, again, it's starting around this July up until March, before April 1st, $50 for ICF members, non-ICF member, $125. The standard pathway, and when I say standard, I mean that's the standard rate, not the standard pathway. Both pathways are qualifying under the special introductory rates, so it doesn't matter which way you go. And then moving forward after April 1st, anyone who applies after that, 125 and 200. And then to renew, it's every 3 years, 100 ICF members, 200 non-ICF members. So just like the emoji, you can watch your money fly away as you get your credential renewed. I'm sorry, your qualifications. See, I warned you. It's too ingrained in me. All right. Now you might be wondering what qualifies as training, because I can send you off to the ICF website and I can send you off to go mentor 5 people, but what's going on with the training? So here's what we know so far. Anything more or less that's clearly connected to the mentor coaching competencies is likely generally going to qualify. It'll ultimately depend when you apply. I have a little thing here, even when they did not exist. So the mentor coaching competencies came out in, I think, September 2024. If you did a mentor coaching program, CCE program before that, it's not disqualified. ICF will look at the curriculum, and there's a very good chance, again, no promises, that it's going to align. One of the competencies of the mentor coaching competencies is giving feedback, something like that. So clearly, if you were taught how to give feedback, but it wasn't labeled this competency, you know the skill. We just have new language for it. So not to worry if it was a few years ago, but you may want to find your certificate if you haven't looked at it in a while. Any kind of program where there was a genuine learning or educational component, something that was structured. So if 3 friends got together and talked about the mentor coaching competencies, that's not really going to work. If it reasonably builds someone's capacity as a mentor coach, you should be fine. From the ICF materials, so most CCE courses are going to qualify. Again, they'll be individually reviewed, and so not to worry, but most likely if you had some kind of mentor coach training, you're in a really good spot. So the 5th bullet point that I mentioned, well, 5th change is this upcoming advanced accreditation in mentor coaching. I got a little couple more slides later on, but I will let you know that if you are interested in getting training or you really want to get going, you have an option coming up next month, less than, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, coming up soon. So there are 2 programs of the BMC Mentor Coaching Certification. If you're US based, you might really like the 4 to 6:30 p.m. option beginning on Tuesdays, May 12th. And those in the UK and other parts of the world, you might really like the 4 p.m. option, United Kingdom time. We will talk much more about that coming up, but if you're already thinking, what can I do now? Guess what? Here are 2 options for you. So let's talk about this enhanced mentor coaching, because already since all this came out, there's been a lot of misunderstandings and some interesting oh, where'd you make that up from? So let me try and let's just make sure I give us the what's really going on. So first, what is staying the same? Because I am talking about a lot of changes, but some things just aren't changing. Everything's just fine. So still a minimum 3 1-to-1 hours. That's staying. Maximum 7 group. That's staying. And you still got to take at least 3 months to get it done. No changes there. MCC candidates, you still have to submit your recordings to ICF. Your mentor coach does have to be an MCQ for MCC, so that's going to be really where you want to pay extra attention if you're working towards your MCC. And otherwise, group mentor coaching is pretty much not changing. Only that the mentor coach leading it must have the MCQ. So that's pretty simple. If you're in a group right now, or you run groups, and that's your primary where you focus, should be okay. Nothing's really changing there. What is going to change and what's going to be new is mainly the one-to-one. With the MCQ, and I really want to make this very clear, nobody is just going to I've been MCC for 100 years and I'm going to get the MCQ overnight. No, everyone's going to have to actually apply and do it. So if anyone says they're being grandfathered, I'd be a little bit skeptical. There could be a misunderstanding, but everyone, whether they've been coaching since the 1500s to today, they gotta apply, and we're all equal in this capacity. There's now a formal review process. So you will be you submit a recording to your mentor coach. There's now this advanced process in advance they're going to have to complete. So if you're a mentor coach, there is new paperwork for you to be you'll be wanting to learn about. It's in a pilot phase, so there's currently a template out there. It might be changing, but they're trying to create this standardized form. So if I get mentor coach from this person and someone else goes to another person, we're both getting feedback in the same template, so it's as fair and equal as possible and objectively helpful. And this is where you are also going to have a new experience where your mentor coach is going to look at your coaching skills basically from your 3 1-to-1s. If you've done more, they may take that in consideration, but They're going to look at your 3 one-to-ones, your 3 recordings, or your 3 demos and think about how have you grown as a coach? Where are you really strong? And what still needs some areas of tweaking? You don't have to do 100% or anything like that, but you're going to have to show a nice 2/3 that you can do each competency at the level that you are working toward. So if you are working towards your PCC, your mentor coach is going to have to be able to attest that based on how you performed and coached in 3 recordings at least, can you demonstrate 67%? So that gets into a lot of math, but basically, you were pulling from at least 3 sources of your skills, not just one. This is also true for leveled programs. So I've seen a few things on social media saying, oh, it's only for portfolio. No, it's not. Leveled programs are also going to have to change. Only one mentor coach vouches for this. That's a really great question. So yes and no. If you have an arrangement where you're working with multiple mentor coaches, whoever is the last one will fill out this competency review form for you. So if you are a mentor coach, in summary, there's a bit more prep work to do with your mentees, your mentor coaching clients. If you are receiving mentor coaching, you can expect more detailed feedback perhaps than before. Depends on who you've been working with, but you're definitely going to be getting a more structured process. All right. Heather, what is the expectation in the group? Mentor coaching is 7 hours. Not sure I follow. It's still the same. There's no formal feedback form or anything like that. It's the same thing. So people practice coaching, observe coaching. Group really isn't changing. There are no new forms for group, if that's what you're asking. Are there still coach programs that sign up people having reached? Does everyone have to go through this process? Let's see. I'm not sure I fully understand, Harriet, what you're asking. So we can come back to that. Can you still do one-to-one coach the coach? Mary, I don't know. That's a great question. But the mentor coach does have to fill out a form either with you or in advance. That's still developing. So I'm not saying it's not allowed, but it's probably going to be really tricky given the new expectations. So I do think, in my own personal view, the emphasis is on record a coaching session and submit. So that's probably, if you don't already do that, something you might want to start getting back into the habit of doing. All right. Taking a few steps back, talk about the timelines. You might be wondering, gosh, what have I missed? What just happened? A lot of this happened very quickly. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Clare has been working on some things behind the scenes directly with ICF. But this information all just came out 1 month ago for coaching educators on St. Patrick's Day. There was an event that we all got to learn about this, and we were sworn to secrecy for a month, and now that month has passed, and now here we all are. So everything just went public on the 13th. That was, 10 days ago. Yeah. So this is 10 days fresh, and we are still learning a lot. And all of us are asking some really great questions that we don't have the answers to, which is great because we're pointing out things that other folks may not have considered. So more is going to be changing, but this is pretty much the foundation. I just see a really great question that I want to touch on. So from my understanding, it is based on when you finish your program, not when you enroll. So if you enroll in September and your program finishes in May, that's going to be tricky. And your school will have to work something out because as soon as it's April 1st, 2027, final recordings, no, it's game over. That's not an option, even if your program began when it was still a thing. July is when we've been told the mentor coaching qualifications applications are going to open. And the AAMC for the actual programs themselves, that application is supposed to be, I think, in June. It might be July, but June will be. That's what I've been told. Cindy, that is a great question, and I have seen conflicting answers. We'll talk in the Q&A because that's a tough one. In general, they've said no, like nobody can start it next week. That would not be okay. But they've seen some things where if you're really ahead of the game by January 1st, that might be okay. So there's two dates to keep in mind for all of this, January 1st and April 1st. When in doubt, it's one of those two. Yeah. So by January, all MCQs, or all mentor coaches who want to mentor coach have to have the MCQ. And then as of April, there will be no more final performance evaluation. So a lot's going to happen in 11 months. Hang tight. All right. So we're talking about, things opening in July, not till this next year, already the year 2027. I'm still hoping that's a real calendar year. What can we do now? April 2026 and then some. So also there's 253 days until January 1st. So you do have some time to figure out what exactly you're going to be doing. So right now, here's what you can do. If you haven't done the ACC MCC bars training or the PCC markers training, that would be a really great idea to do. To clarify, you have to have that credential to take that course. So if you have the ACC, for example, and you go on the ICF website and you're like, why can't I find it? Because you're not supposed to find it. It's not going to show up for you, unfortunately. So, but you can find those on learning.coachingfederation.org. The ACC and MCC bars training also got a facelift and makeover in end of 2025. So if you took the old version, the one that came out several years ago for the 2022 minimum skills requirements, that's no longer valid. So you do got to do the new one. If you've been mentor coaching for a while, you might want to start thinking, who are 5 people that I mentor coached and who put me on their application? Even if they didn't, you can still work with that, but find your 5 people. DOE stands for Director of Education, so you can ask your Director of Education for that letter right away. That's something you can do in keeping your files when it's time to apply. If you've already done some training, mentor coaching aligned between now and who knows how far back, go find a certificate. Make sure you have it. Make sure you can use it. Get a sense of what you already have completed. So none of these requirements are saying that you have to do something brand new tomorrow. What you've done before is probably going to count. So you may want to go certificate hunting. And of course, you can email Simon to learn more about what courses BMC is offering and what you can take to make your life 3,000% easier, plus or minus a few more percentages. So, coming soon, we've got a few more things that you can consider. Again, these new fancy long names. Supervision accreditation is still in the works. The qualification for supervision, still fine-tuning, nowhere near as nuanced as far as for this moment as the mentor coaching one. So just so you're aware, if you're worried about supervision, you can hang tight for a little bit. We'll have some more information in the next month or so. Mentor coaching, you might want to start getting, might not be something you want to procrastinate. So, Claire, shall I turn this one over to you to talk about what's available?
Sure, yeah. Matthew, it's been absolutely fantastic so far. So much information, super clear. Thank you. So we've had for about 7 or 8 years a 40 ICF CCE in mentor coaching, even before the competencies for a mentor coach came out. And we're going to keep it as 40 CCEs. So great for MCCs or anyone who wants to renew their credentials. But it's also going to be transferred to the advanced accreditation in mentor coaching. Now, anyone who's on it now or anyone who takes it in future, they can have once the advanced accreditation in mental coaching is approved from ICF, we can't approve it now because the system's not open from them to approve it. Once it's approved, we can backdate for the present students and future students. So I know a lot of you on the call are students who've done our mentor coaching certification already. What happens there is we've got a little bridging course that gives you the extra bit you need so that you've got the right number of hours to apply for the mentor coaching qualification, but also to upgrade you for the AAMC, just getting used to the acronyms. And then, so we've got here the other thing is for those who need you're an existing mental coach and you need this 10 hours, it can actually be asynchronous, but we're not doing that because what we want to do is ensure quality and ensure that what you're getting is mentor coaching on mentor coaching. So it'll be your sessions, some of our mentor coaching sessions, and we'll all work through that together and get you those extra hours. So you'll end up with 15 CCEs if you're an existing mentor coach and you want to do this little bridging program. So you've got what you need in terms of training for the mentor coaching qualification. It'll be 10 asynchronous and 5 live. Simon's got all the dates. They're on the slides as well, as you can see, and they're going out. And there's others coming in other languages, Italian and French and German and Arabic and others as well. If you're one of our students, the price is there. And if you're a past student, obviously the price is there. For existing mentor coaches who've not trained with us, the bottom price.
There we go. Thank you. I will go back briefly to the slide. I did jump ahead a little bit to make sure we covered the conversion program. But that is all we have for you. Of course, I'm happy to answer any Q&A. Claire and I will do the best that we can. We've been keeping up to date with as many ICF resources and other spaces where ICF staff give us additional information, consolidating. And so you have lots of options. And if you've already done the mentor coaching certification with Beckett McElroy, you're in a very good spot. So we will gladly help you. What's the bridge the gap? Mind the gap. We'll take care of that for you.
And the other thing is we're doing another one of these sessions more focused on the supervision and the changes there when more comes out in that area. So watch this space. There'll be another show down the line. Rushi.
Thank you so much. This has been so useful. Thank you, Matthew and Claire. I've got 2 questions emerging. One, what is ICF's timeline to finalize what you described as the paperwork that we're going to have to get our head around? I've seen some templates on the educator
Right.
portal, but is there a time frame that they're working to?
So they're doing a pilot like with these forms. I think it's June and July. So they're going to do that. And then they're going to see what went well and what do we need to change. So we might not have those updated forms for a couple more months. But right now, that's what they're currently piloting.
Lovely. And I'll look out for the FAQ document where you might be able to get a response on whether some of these changes can be brought about earlier. Just thinking about a program, which is falling halfway into the old system and halfway into the new one.
Yeah.
Which is quite a bummer actually, suddenly now. So yeah, if there's anything more on that, that'll be great. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. John.
Thank you guys for hosting that. It's really helpful. My question is, if I'm considering a standard path, okay, and if I have done a PCCSS's training or a Marcus training, whatever it's called, do all of them count, or is there something that I need to consider? I've done mine in 22 and it's version 2. Do those count?
It counts for it since the whole PCC marker program is 40 hours and it's all asynchronous, you can count 20 of those for the MCQ requirement. So you do have a bit of an advantage. You have to find 21 hours instead of a full 41.
Yeah, but the training as such counts towards the asynchronous hours, right?
Only in the standard pathway, yes.
Okay, very good.
Art, hi there.
Hey, how are you? Great job, Matthew, and thanks, Dr. Clare, for setting this up. My question I dropped in the chat. So we fill out these forms with every mentoring session we have. Where do the forms go?
To the person you were mentor coaching, the mentor coaching client. It's for them. It's you are giving them feedback. You even have to sign it now that you and the mentee met and talked about it, that you both know what's going on. So no one's waking up to a surprise email saying, by the way, your recording wasn't that great.
And then they use that as application for their certificate.
It's for their learning, but then after the 3, you do a competency review form, and I believe that they attach to their application moving forward.
Okay.
So there's
So that's
4
a fourth
forms.
one. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Super helpful.
So there's a lot more for mentor coaches to do, especially if you're mentor coaching for portfolio pathway. And also we're covering all that in the program, the written way to do the developmental assessments as well. Joyce.
So how I'm taking this up is that a lot of the control on quality is being delegated to the mentor coaches because now there's no performance evaluation, right, for ACC and PCC. And it's essentially ICF relying on the mentor coach's word that these applicants are meeting the core competencies. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with regard to like the process of how to go about it, is this something that would be like, what would be the proper processes and procedures for the mentor coaches to conduct these assessments? Is it something that BMC can give us some training on?
Claire?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're including that in the new program, the Advanced Accreditation in Mentor Coaching. And we're also including that in all these bridging programs for the people who require them.
Okay, thanks,
And as usual, best practice in one-on-one and also group mentor coaching.
Okay.
And how to provide differentiation when you've got a few people going to PCC. They're all at the same level, but some are here in that level and some are here.
Okay, thank you.
John.
If one has been providing ICF mentor coaching for a training which was for which the students received 18 CCEs, let's say, is that covered by if the training institution, which is an approved ICF accredited organization, will they just have to issue the letter of attestation for it to count for the 5 student requirements, or do they have to have an obtained credential?
If it's done within a program, they don't have to have they don't have to earn the credential.
And the definition for the program is that if the student completing the program receives approved CCEs, is that correct?
So you're saying if someone, I'm not quite following. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, Matthew. If you let's assume you enrolled for a training, ICF mentor coaching, it's preparing you for a credential, whether it's ACC or PCC, and once you have completed that training, you will get officially, let's say 18 CCEs approved by the ICF.
Okay.
Can I then say, actually, yes, these are part of of a program for which actually the training institution just needs to issue this attestation, right? Am I correct?
Well, it needs to be, any of the program needs to be mapped a certain percentage to the mentor coaching competencies. So some people have trained in mentoring, but it's not necessarily mapped to the ICF mentor coaching competencies. So really it depends on the content of the program.
Claire, what I'm asking is, this whole for the this requirements of 5 clients that have obtained the
yeah.
credential, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, am I correct? Is my understanding correct that if they are part of a program for which they will get ICF approved CCEs, that means if a mentor coach gets a letter of attestation, that will be sufficient regardless of whether they have obtained their credential or not.
I think I'm following. It's very explicit right now. If it's a leveled program, I don't know about a CCE program. Someone recently asked that in the ICF educator space, and the response is not super clear. So that's to be determined.
Okay, thanks.
And we will put that in the FAQ when we get the absolute answer.
No, that's very great. Thank you so much,
Noted
guys.
that in the chat for when we look through it.
Looking in the chat, I saw a list that have the training programs that are currently approved. Is that an official list? That doesn't, I don't know what that's about.
Someone shared a list of the training, the mentor training courses that have been approved
Oh,
for these new requirements. I was
So-
just wondering if anyone else had seen that.
It was the thing is, you can find us and any other program that has mentor coach training on the ICF website, in the course finder.
if someone made a list, that might just be something nice they did by going into the ICF database that's public and finding all the mentor coach trainings. I haven't seen an official list that's because that's still in development, if at all.
And some people actually at some schools write mentor coaching program where they're actually providing actual mentoring. It's not mentor coach training. So just, read into it there.
Brenda Brenda in the chat just put the document, an interesting Excel sheet.
Yeah. That's it.
I think this document floated around in one of the other communities, an unofficial ICF community. Someone just gathered up a list, and I think that's someone shared this with me. So I think this is what they're referring to.
And of course, they're all CCEs right now because no program can be the AAMC. Don't worry about opening that. Just come direct to us.
Yeah, just see Dr. Clare. She'll fix you up.
Linda, if you created a mentor coach training program, that does count as long as you are the creator and you delivered it once.
It was a team, and not everybody actually delivered. And I personally audited several hours, and I know that the program was also independently assessed. Does any of it count?
My first response is there a certificate?
Yeah.
Then probably.
So what ICF would do is, just like portfolio, they want to see the content to check it's mapped to the mentor coaching competencies if it's not an ICF CCE program.
Yeah, it is. It is. It was mapped, and it is.
So it depends if it's the right number of hours then, and then if it is, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks, Claire and Matthew.
Pleasure.
There's a comment on the renewal. I'll answer that one. So if you are renewing your credential after April 1st of 2027 and you want to count mentor coaching toward your renewal hours for ACC required, PCC, MCC optional up to 10, mentor coaching and supervision, the person you're working with has to have the MCQ or the CSQ. That's otherwise the renewal requirements haven't changed.
Anything else? And Caroline.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I understood correctly. If we are part of the level 3 program, so we do the mentor coaching certification, we have 40 hours. And if we take the ACC bars or the PCC markers, we have more than enough hours for the standard path. Is it correct?
Yeah, so the bit that you can do is the mentor coaching qualification, but not the AAMC, because that's got other requirements on top of just training hours.
Okay, so then comes the bridging program.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, as you know, in our mentor coach certification, we do mentor coaching on your mentor coaching, where we listen to the actual mentor coaching. There'll be more of that needed, for example, in the advanced accreditation in mentor coaching.
Okay, so to be good to go to apply, we need the existing program plus the bridging one, and then we don't have to worry about something else for now. Is it correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then you get the AAMC and you automatically get the mentor coaching qualification. Therefore, you're automatically on the new register.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I asked the question. Now I understand.
That's a lot of steps, isn't it?
Thank you.
I wish there was a song. I mean, I'm not going to make one, so don't ask me, but like different songs to remember like concepts in like chemistry or certain irregular verbs. And like, we need a song for this that we can all sing. I'm not creating it.
I think
No,
me and Matthew say these acronyms in our sleep.
sadly. Is there any specific benefit for a mentor coach to complete the AMC program instead of a CC course in mentor coaching? Well, every CCE course is going to be a gamble because we don't know what the actual curriculum is. We don't know what they actually applied in the ICF portal. So again, not to say it's like, I know, of course, this program with Becca McElroy is because it's been so vetted and done with the competencies, but the benefit would just be it's just a gamble. Whereas AMC would be guaranteed. If you've been mentor coaching for like quite a while and you've got all the requirements, you probably don't necessarily need an AMC program. If you're new to mentor coaching, I think it would be a very solid option. You can only apply to mentor coach qualification. So it's the same requirements as now. Mentor coaching ACC renewed 3 years, at least once, so 3 years. PCC and MCC, the second you have your credential, you are up until January 1st, you are an eligible mentor coach. How do you sign up for the bridging program? You email Simon. When in doubt, just email Simon. You're not sure whether it is, just email Simon. You'll figure it out. Great question, Ruth. I believe that deadline's going to be, it's January 1st. So any mentor coaching that happens on or after January 1st must be with an MCQ. Hours done now, completely fine. It's not going to go, they're not going to spoil or go bad or be disqualified.
Matthew, can I add on to that question?
Of course.
Don't apply until after Jan 1. Then does your mentor coach have to have the qualification?
What
is within 3 months, right?
So
mentoring.
let's say you worked with me for the next 3 months and you apply for your MCC next year. You don't have to do anything extra because at the time that we were mentor coaching together, this wasn't a requirement. So, does that answer the question?
Yeah, so even if I am MCC, but for colleagues and friends who are applying, they can apply even next year as long as they've done the mentoring with a non-accredited or qualified mentor coach.
Yeah, as long as it occurred before January 1st, before 2027. Yes.
Perfect. Thanks.
And just to stress as well, the advanced accreditation in mentor coaching can include the ACC and MCC markers and the PCC bars. So you can do that with a school, which is fantastic for people whose English isn't a first language. Any other questions?
Bring on a complicated one. See if you can break me.
Matthew, am I correct in
No, Caroline, no. Go ahead. Just kidding.
Am I correct, Matthew, in my understanding that in order to mentor at ACC level, I have to have completed the ACC bars or minimum skills requirements, whatever the title is now, training, same for PCC, same for MCC, and that in terms of asynchronous hours, they can count. Am I correct in assuming that if I haven't got those things, I can't actually apply for this qualification?
That is correct.
So it's a prerequisite for any application that you have to have completed the ICF specific training for the level that you want to mentor.
Yes.
Unless you've done an AAMC that includes it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have to include it.
One quick thing in the chat. So, Pauline, that's a very big question. I think it's overall for the best, but I will save my a speech on my bad mentor coaching experiences of why I think it's a good thing, because there's some shady stuff out there, and hopefully this will minimize it.
So I'll just answer Pauline's question from my perspective, and then we'll go to Rushi. So what's the highest goal for the new changes? I think I'm super pleased that ICF has actually moved into professionalizing mentor coaching, because we all know someone can be the most fantastic MCC for years and years, and yet it's a very different skill set doing mentor coaching and providing developmental feedback. So I actually think it will systemically, positively impact the field and obviously clients in turn. Rushi.
Just a quick point of clarification there. Matthew, you mentioned at some point that there's been the ACC bars have been refreshed. So therefore the expectation would be that even if we've done the bars training, we do it again. And is that the case with the PCC mark training as well? Because that was hard work.
I know. PCC marker training it's been untouched for quite a couple of years. You're fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, ACC and MCC got they're new now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anything else before we close?
I wanted to tell Rushi, even if there's a little update of PCC markers to do, it's a short course. It's not like the long one intensive.
Yeah.
And also, I'm happy because I agree with Matthew. Also, it's really, I know it's a hassle, all this change, but at least we're pointing to high professionalism. Because there are many people that are not. I'm doing really big discoveries here in Italy, so
yeah, And for anyone who isn't aware, our level 3 program for MCC includes our 40 CCE programs in mentor coaching and supervision. Both those programs will stay in the level 3 when they become the advanced accreditations as well. So it's 3 for the price of 1. Thanks for all the lovely comments in the chat. Matthew has done a phenomenal job. I know this has taken hours and hours in terms of putting it all together. Really appreciate it. We will do a frequently asked questions. We'll go through the chat meticulously. We'll get that out to you. We'll also attach a few documents that have come from ICF just in case you've not seen them. You've got Simon's email if you're interested in any of our programs. Lovely to see so many of our community here. We'll get the date out for the supervision one as well. And it's going dark here because I can see I've just got a little bit of light now. Have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay well.
Bye. Thank you. Great, Matthew. Thank you.
Wonderful, Matthew.
Yes.